Estimating the time required for a recessed lighting installation involves several steps. Firstly, marking the joists and determining the light locations typically takes about 1 hour. Next, cutting the trough for the Romex wiring is estimated to take 3 hours. This involves carefully creating channels within the ceiling or wall to accommodate the wiring. Subsequently, cutting the holes for the cans, including the time spent fishing the wire, is estimated at 2 hours. The actual installation of the cans and wiring them in is estimated to take 4 hours. This step includes securely mounting the recessed lighting fixtures and connecting them to the electrical system. Running the switch loop, which involves connecting the lights to a switch, is estimated to take 1 hour. Lastly, patching and finishing the areas where cuts were made is estimated at 2 hours. This ensures a clean and professional final appearance. Considering these estimates, the total estimated time for the recessed lighting installation is approximately 13 hours. In California, new Title 24 regulations require the use of insulation contact, or IC, rated fixtures for recessed lighting. Unfortunately, traditional 4-inch remodel housings are typically not available with IC ratings. However, there are several options to consider. Firstly, using 6-inch IC housings is a viable alternative. These housings are IC rated and can be used with 4-inch trim, providing the desired aesthetic while meeting the regulatory requirements. Secondly, pancake LED lights offer a solution for shallow ceilings. These lights are typically thin enough to be installed without a traditional housing, making them suitable for situations where space is limited. Thirdly, retrofit trims can be added to existing 4-inch remodel housings to make them IC rated. This involves installing specialized trims that provide the necessary insulation and safety features. When planning a recessed lighting installation, several additional factors should be considered. Firstly, the accessibility of the work area can significantly impact the project's duration. Cramped spaces or difficult to reach areas may require more time and effort. Secondly, the condition of the existing walls and ceiling can influence the amount of patching and finishing required. Damaged or uneven surfaces may necessitate additional preparation. Thirdly, the number of obstacles, such as furniture and appliances, can affect the ease of access and maneuverability. Moving or working around these obstacles can add to the overall project time. Fourthly, the distance to the electrical panels should be considered. Longer distances may require more wiring and increase the time needed to run the necessary circuits. To reduce the overall installation time, consider the following tips. Firstly, use a stud finder to quickly locate joists. This will help you accurately mark the locations for the recessed lighting fixtures and avoid unnecessary cutting. Secondly, plan the wiring path carefully to minimize the amount of cutting required. By optimizing the route of the Romex wiring, you can reduce the amount of time spent creating troughs and fishing wires. Thirdly, use a mud ring to make patching and finishing easier. A mud ring provides a stable surface for applying joint compound and helps create a smooth, seamless finish. Fourthly, if possible, have a helper assist with cutting and fishing wires. Having an extra pair of hands can significantly speed up the installation process. By carefully considering these factors and implementing these tips, you can effectively manage the time required for recessed lighting installation and ensure compliance with California Title 24 regulations. When working with electrical systems, always prioritize safety. Ensure that the power is turned off before beginning any wiring work and follow all applicable electrical codes and regulations. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to perform the installation. Always consult local building codes and regulations before starting any electrical project. These codes may vary depending on your location and can affect the materials and methods used for the installation. Pay attention to the specific requirements for recessed lighting in your area, including the type of fixtures allowed and the necessary safety precautions. Understanding and adhering to these codes will help ensure a safe and code-compliant installation. Before starting the recessed lighting installation, take the time to properly prepare the work area. This includes removing any furniture or obstacles that may impede access, covering the floor with drop cloths to protect it from dust and debris, and gathering all the necessary tools and materials. Having everything readily available will help streamline the installation process and minimize wasted time. Consider the type of trim that will be used with the recessed lighting fixtures. Trim refers to the decorative ring that surrounds the light and is visible from below. There are various types of trim available, including baffle trim, reflector trim, and adjustable trim. The choice of trim will depend on the desired aesthetic and the specific application. Baffle trim is designed to reduce glare and create a soft, diffused light. Reflector trim is designed to maximize light output and is suitable for general lighting purposes. Adjustable trim allows you to direct the light to a specific area, making it ideal for accent lighting or task lighting. When installing recessed lighting in a bathroom or other damp location, it is important to use fixtures that are rated for wet locations. These fixtures are designed to withstand moisture and prevent electrical hazards. Look for fixtures that are marked with a wet location rating. In addition to IC-rated fixtures, consider using LED recessed lighting fixtures. LED lights are energy efficient, long-lasting, and produce very little heat. This makes them a great choice for recessed lighting applications, as they can help reduce energy consumption and prevent overheating. Also, they meet Title 24 requirements as many are IC-rated. When running the Romex wiring, be sure to secure it properly to the joist or studs. Use cable staples or cable ties to keep the wiring in place and prevent it from sagging or coming into contact with sharp edges. This will help ensure the safety and longevity of the electrical system. When making electrical connections, use wire connectors that are appropriate for the size and type of wire being used. Wire connectors provide a secure and reliable connection and help prevent loose wires, which can be a fire hazard. Follow the manufacturer's instructions when using wire connectors to ensure a proper connection. After completing the wiring, test the circuit to ensure that it is working properly. Use a circuit tester to verify that the voltage and polarity are correct. If there are any issues, troubleshoot the wiring to identify and correct the problem. If you are not comfortable troubleshooting electrical problems, it is best to consult a qualified electrician. When patching and finishing the areas where cuts were made, use joint compound to fill in any gaps or imperfections. Apply the joint compound in thin layers and allow it to dry completely before sanding it smooth. This will help create a seamless and professional finish. After sanding the joint compound, prime the patched areas and then paint them to match the surrounding surface. Use a high-quality paint that is designed for ceilings or walls and apply it evenly to ensure a uniform finish. After completing the recessed lighting installation, clean up the work area and dispose of any debris properly. This includes removing any drop cloths, sweeping the floor, and disposing of any waste materials in accordance with local regulations. A clean and tidy work area will help prevent accidents and ensure a safe environment. Consider the overall lighting design when planning the recessed lighting installation. Think about the placement of the fixtures, the type of trim, and the color temperature of the lights. The goal is to create a lighting scheme that is both functional and aesthetically pleasing. A well-designed lighting system can enhance the ambience of the room and improve its overall usability. If you are unsure about the best way to design your lighting system, consult with a lighting designer or electrician. They can provide valuable insights and recommendations based on your specific needs and preferences. When choosing recessed lighting fixtures, consider the lumen output of the lights. Lumens are a measure of the brightness of a light source. The appropriate lumen output will depend on the size of the room and the desired level of illumination. A larger room will require more lumens than a smaller room. Also, different areas of the room may require different levels of illumination. For example, a kitchen may require more lumens than a bedroom. When selecting LED recessed lighting fixtures, pay attention to the color rendering index, or CRI, of the lights. CRI is a measure of how accurately a light source renders colors. A higher CRI indicates that the light source will render colors more accurately. For most applications, a CRI of 80 or higher is recommended. This will ensure that the colors in the room appear natural and vibrant. Consider the beam angle of the recessed lighting fixtures. Beam angle refers to the width of the light beam that is emitted from the fixture. A narrow beam angle will produce a focused spotlight effect, while a wide beam angle will produce a more diffuse light. The appropriate beam angle will depend on the specific application. For example, a narrow beam angle may be suitable for highlighting artwork or architectural features, while a wide beam angle may be better for general lighting. When installing recessed lighting, be sure to follow all applicable safety precautions. Always turn off the power to the circuit before working on any electrical wiring. Wear appropriate safety gear, such as safety glasses and gloves, to protect yourself from electrical shock and other hazards. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to perform the installation. Remember that careful planning, attention to detail, and adherence to safety precautions are essential for a successful recessed lighting installation. By following these guidelines, you can create a lighting system that is both functional and aesthetically pleasing while ensuring the safety and well-being of yourself and others. And it's important to comply with regulations such as California's Title 24. When planning the wiring path, consider the location of existing electrical boxes and outlets. If possible, try to tap into these existing circuits to minimize the amount of new wiring that needs to be installed. This can save time and effort. However, be sure to check the capacity of the existing circuit to ensure that it can handle the additional load of the recessed lighting fixtures. If the circuit is already heavily loaded, you may need to install a new circuit to accommodate the additional lights. When cutting the holes for the recessed lighting fixtures, use a hole saw that is the correct size for the fixtures. A hole saw is a specialized tool that is designed to cut clean, accurate holes in drywall or other materials. Using the correct size hole saw will ensure that the fixtures fit snugly and securely in the ceiling. After cutting the holes, use a utility knife to trim any excess drywall or paper around the edges of the holes. This will help ensure a smooth, even surface for the trim to sit flush against. When fishing the wires, use a fish tape or fish rod to guide the wires through the walls or ceiling. A fish tape is a long, flexible metal or plastic strip that can be inserted into the wall or ceiling cavity and used to pull the wires through. A fish rod is a series of interlocking rods that can be used to push the wires through. Use whichever tool works best for your specific situation. When connecting the wires to the recessed lighting fixtures, be sure to use the correct wiring method. The most common wiring method for recessed lighting is to use non-metallic sheath cable, also known as Romex. Romex consists of 2 or more insulated wires wrapped in a plastic sheath. Connect the black wire to the black wire, the white wire to the white wire, and the ground wire to the ground wire. Use wire connectors to make the connections and be sure to tighten them securely. When installing the recessed lighting fixtures, be sure to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. The installation process may vary depending on the type of fixture being used. However, in general, you will need to insert the fixture into the hole, secure it with screws or clips, and then attach the trim. Before turning on the power, double check all of your wiring connections to ensure that they are secure and correct. Also, make sure that all of the fixtures are properly installed and that the trim is securely attached. Once you are confident that everything is in order, you can turn on the power and test the lights. If the lights do not turn on, check the circuit breaker to make sure that it is not tripped. If the breaker has tripped, reset it and try again. If the lights still do not turn on, there may be a problem with the wiring. In this case, it is best to consult a qualified electrician to troubleshoot the problem. Remember that safety should always be your top priority when working with electricity. If you are not comfortable working with electrical wiring, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to perform the installation. Working with electricity can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to protect yourself from electrical shock and other hazards.